Good morning, friends. Greetings and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I'm your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements in my practice where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and sometimes deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body. You are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health issue. That's why we're here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 29 years of practicing pharmacy, I have seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes and hypertension and obesity and skin diseases like acne, psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds. Recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle, but what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure, because the human biological system is a healing system. It's a regenerating system. It is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis. And while some folks may call that healing and renewing system a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health, nutrition, prescription drugs, if you want to wean yourself off your medication and get on a good nutritional supplement program, we want to hear from you. We welcome your phone calls on The Bright Side. Our number is 844-236-6010, 844-236-6010. If you have questions about the longevity products, the ones I take and the ones I recommend, the ones I've taken and recommended now for going close to 20 years. If you have questions about the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, the Healthy Start Pack, the Beyond OsteoFX, the Ultimate Enzymes, the Glucogel Caps, the Nightly Essence, Fucoid Z, or if you have questions about the longevity business or a success story, or if you want to contribute to our conversation, 844-236-6010 is our number. If you want to purchase any of the products, you can call the phone team at 866-735-2470, or you can head to my websites, brightsideben.com, criticalhealthnews.com, or pharmacistben.com. And if you want to purchase any of our skin health products, Truth Treatment skin health products, including our retinol 5% gel, or our omega-6 healing cream, or our Truth Serum or Truth Balm, go to truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. Okay, welcome back to The Bright Side. We're talking about some of the underlying themes of degenerative disease, the degenerative disease process. It really is a process. Degeneration, degenerative meaning as in a verb, degenerating, it should be called degenerating disease. Disease is a verb, by the way, not a noun. When we nominalize, when we make things into nouns, make things into things, we lock ourselves in. So it's really important to understand how we speak and the kind of words we use. The medical model, all power trips, whether it's a government power trip or whether it's a medical power trip or a political power trip or a legal power trip, all these entities that would usurp our power as the individual manipulate language and words. And one of the ways they do it in medicine is by naming things. That's why we have 12,000 different diseases. But they're all the same thing. They're just names. They're just descriptions. We've talked about this in the past. They're just Latin descriptions. They don't tell you anything about how to get better. There's a Latin description. And even more egregious, they're just there so we can be billed. So there can be terms for our decaying or deteriorating bodies. There can be numbers associated with them and go in a computer and we can be billed. So, the underlying themes of the degenerative disease process. The first is the cell. The cell is the core of all health and wellness or lack thereof. It's the core of all illness. You don't hear about it because only we, through God and the divine force, can work at the level of a cell. You don't hear about it from your doctor. Doctors are not allowed in the cell, period. Medical model is not allowed in the cell. They're not pure enough. The medical model is too evil to be welcomed into the holy, sacred space of the cell. That's why the medical model cuts the cell out. That's why it radiates the cell. That's why it poisons the cell, because it's not allowed in. Yeah, I know you're not going to hear this from any. This is kind of subtle. I understand that. You're not going to hear this from your doctor. You're not going to hear it from anybody. You're not going to hear it from alternative. This distinction between the cell and the notion of the cell as only as a place where only we can work. You're not going to hear about it from alternative practitioners either. You're not going to hear about it from most healthcare shows. They'll tell you about taking this vitamin for this illness and that vitamin for that illness, but nobody's talking about the breakdown at the level of the cell. You're only hearing it on this program. If we focus on the organs, the structures, the gallbladder, the skin, the heart, the liver, or perhaps in the case of Alzheimer's disease, the brain, or Parkinson's disease, we're going to be confused, understandably so. It's not like we're stupid. It's confusing. What do I do? I don't know what my gallbladder even does. How am I going to fix it? Why do I have Alzheimer's disease? I was just reading. Oh my God, this got me so angry. 3 separate tests are now out, or being researched anyway, for detecting Alzheimer's disease. One is an odor biomarker. This is from the Mennell Center. Mennell Center is one of the places where the PhDs go to figure out chemicals that will make us eat more food. The food industry and the pharmaceutical industry have set up this research center where they can understand the kind of chemicals our brain, the human brain, responds to get it to behave in certain ways, to get it to eat more food. The reason we can't eat Lay's can only eat one Lay's potato chip, or can't only eat one Lay's potato chip, is because there's chemicals in Lay's potato chips that were discovered at the Mennell Center in Philadelphia, or outside of Philadelphia in Pennsylvania. They put chemicals in their Lay's potato chips that the Mennell Center has discovered will keep us eating. That's what fast food is. That's what excitotoxins in food and food natural, quote, natural flavors in foods are. These are chemicals that were discovered at the Mennell Center in Pennsylvania, where they learn and they study. Some of the best, most brilliant minds in the world study the kind of chemicals it takes to keep us eating the potato chips and the hamburgers and the food we would never touch under ordinary circumstances. But when they throw the chemicals in it, all of a sudden our brain goes yippee. Woo! That's why they call them excitotoxins. Our brain goes, woo, whoopee, whoopee, spam, yummy. And you take the chemicals out, the Mennell Center invented chemicals out, you wouldn't even smell the stuff anyway. So the Mennell Center has come up with an odor biomarker for Alzheimer's disease. So now they're going to smell you to see if you have Alzheimer's disease. Of course, you're going to have to go to the doctor to do this, because it's a special odor that only a special machine will be able to detect. Here's another one. A urine test to predict Alzheimer's disease. Now you can have a urine test. A saliva test. This is another one. A saliva test for Alzheimer's disease. Folks, it doesn't matter if you have Alzheimer's disease. That's just a name. That doesn't tell you anything. What matters is, am I forgetful? Am I confused? Do I not have the same mental clarity that I had? Who cares if it's Alzheimer's? Who cares if it's an amyloid plaque? Who cares if it's tau protein? It's all the same thing. It's inflammation. And you don't need a test. You don't need a test to somebody's... What do you think the purpose of the test is? It's so they can sell you a medicine or put you on an insurance plan or bill you extra for your insurance plan. It's not to make us better. That's not the purpose of diagnosis. It's not to make us better. It's to bill us. But it doesn't matter, because we can do this ourselves. If we focus on the organs, we're not going to be able to. If we focus on the gallbladder, the skin, or the heart, or the brain, we're not going to be able to. We're going to be so desperate and confused that we're going to be stuck to dealing with this feeble-minded medical model. We're going to be stuck with feeble-minded politicians saying things like, we're going to cure cancer. We're going to cure this thing just like we walked on the moon. We're going to have Joe Biden. He's going to cure cancer for us. He's going to lead this fight to cure cancer. That's what happens when you think that cancer is this entity that invades us from the outside. We're going to cure it. We're going to spend all the money we need to on medical research, just like we walked on the moon. Oh, yeah. Really? You're going to spend all this money on medical research? Where's it going to come from? Oh, yeah. Our taxes and fees and healthcare costs. If we don't focus on the core, the cell where the disease begins, if we're focusing on the gallbladder and the skin and the brain, we're going to be dealing with feeble-minded doctors who will tell us there's no cure for your Alzheimer's disease. There's no cure. Oh, no, you can't cure it. We're just going to have to give you this memantine, this Namenda, for the rest of your life. Oh, there's no cure for your heart disease. No, we just got to put you on this stand drug. Rest of your life. No cure for your thyroid disease. No, you're going to be on Synthroid the rest of your life. Is that going to help me, doctor? Well, no, not really. We don't think so, but it's best we can do. And it's because we're not focusing on the humble little cell and what's happening at the level of the cell when we have our degenerative disease. All right, we're coming back on the bright side right after this. Don't go away.
for listening to GCN. Be sure to visit GCNlive.com today.
All right, we're back on The Bright Side. Thank you for joining us. We're on the air Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 Pacific and 10 to 11 Central Time, 24/7 on our archive page at brightsideben.com. You can purchase all the longevity products you hear advertised on the program or recommended on the program at brightsideben.com. You can also go to benfuchsarchives.com or criticalhealthnews.com or pharmacistben.com. And if you want to purchase any of our Truth Skin Health products, please go to truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. You can also check out my skincare blog at truthtreatments.com. And our number today, we do have lines open for you, 844-236-6010, 844-236-6010. From the Journal of Pharmaceutical Sciences, January 14th, 2016, it turns out that the higher your cholesterol, or the more normal your cholesterol, the harder it is for drugs to work. So now they want to lower your cholesterol so your drugs work better. Why would it be that when your cholesterol levels are high or when your cholesterol levels are normal, when you have good cholesterol levels, healthy cholesterol levels, I should say, when you have healthy cholesterol levels, drugs don't work as well? Why would that be? Well, aside from the boneheaded idea that you need to lower cholesterol to make your drugs work better, I'm not kidding you. This is from the Journal of Pharmaceutical Sciences. Cholesterol levels affect our body's capacity to receive medication. Cholesterol levels of a healthy person make it harder for the body to be treated. I'm reading right here out of the article here. Quote, cholesterol levels of a healthy person make it harder for the body to be treated by a number of medicines, i.e. poisons. I'm saying that. That's not in the quote. So you can't poison yourself. You can't be poisoned if you got normal cholesterol levels. Why? Because cholesterol is a detoxifier. Again, cholesterol is critically important for the body. This is, I mean, there are so many ways to say medical stupidity. I don't even know where to begin, but poisoning your cholesterol levels is darn near the top of the list. Anyway, see, we don't understand the cells. It's the cell. The cell is a little animal, just like a dog or cat. If you have a pet, you can kind of relate to what it's like to have a cell. And if you abuse your pet's going to be sick. If we abuse the cell, we're going to be sick. Just like a dog or a cat or a monkey or a cricket or a bumblebee or a cow or a goat or any other animal, cells need oxygen, they need food, and they need a clean place to do their business. And that's it. This is not rocket science. This is not something you need to go to school for 8 years to understand. And most especially, it's not anything that we need to be intimidated about. Nutrients, the Mighty 90, as Dr. Wallach calls them, the Mighty 90 essential nutrients. These are cell food. This is the cell's version of a hamburger. The Mighty 90 essential nutrients are a cell's version of, better not say hamburger, of broccoli, of good food, of quality food. The Mighty 90 essential nutrients are what a cell eats. And they're all important. There's 90 of them. There's 90 foods on the menu, on the cell menu. Vitamins, minerals, amino acids, essential fatty acids. And then it needs a clean place to do its work. And sugar represents dirt. If sugar represents dirt, you can begin to see why we got some problems here. Because look at all the sugar we're eating. Drugs represent dirt. Medicine that you get from your doctor puts a burden on the cell. I don't know what else we need to hear to put all the entire drug company, pharmaceutical industry out of business. Or, sometimes you need some drugs. I'm not Pollyannish about this. There's antibiotics and there's pain pills and perhaps chemotherapy occasionally, rarely. But for the most part, drugs represent more burden on the cell. And then, of course, pollutants, air pollutants. And food counts as a pollutant, unfortunately. So if these little animals, these pets of ours, our cells, become defective, the first thing that happens is the body will build a wall around the cells, just like Donald Trump. It's going to build a wall. That's, if you prefer, yesterday we called it deploying an airbag or a beaver's dam. That beaver's dam, that Donald Trump wall, we'll name it after Donald Trump, the Trump wall, or the airbag, is called inflammation. That's what inflammation is, and that's the second distinction that we need to address. The first is the cell, the next is inflammation. And then the third is kind of a blend of the cell and inflammation, and that's microinflammation, which is invisible, which you don't see. And that's the problem right there, is the microinflammation is invisible. And it's happening at the level of a cell, so we don't see it. And the body is so gloriously redundant. It has so many repeating, redundant components and cells that we don't notice one cell. We got 100 trillion of them. A gallbladder may have a couple billion cells. So if you're missing one, if one is defective, and it's surrounded with a beaver's dam, it's inflamed, we're not going to notice it. You're not going to notice 2 out of a billion, or 3 out of a billion, or 5 out of a billion, or even 1,000,000 out of a billion. But once a critical mass is reached, boom, oh my God, I got the pain. Now I got to go to the doctor. Oh, we got to take that thing out. So the airbag around the cell, the microinflammation, is always going to be present. Capital A, always. Capital ALWAYS. Capital everything. It's always going to be present as the cause of of all degenerative disease, whatever it is. Doctors are going to tell you there's lots of causes. I was listening to a doctor today on a podcast. Oh, there are so many different causes of infertility. No, there's not. There's a stressed out reproductive cell, a stressed out endometrial cell or ovarian cell. Not a lot of causes. Or sometimes they'll tell you there's no known causes. I love that one. They call that idiopathic, as an idiot. Idiopathic means there's no known cause. By the way, idiot is not necessarily an insult term. Do you know idiots were on the IQ test back in the day, back in the early 1900s when the IQ test was first starting to become in vogue? If you had an IQ between 0 to 30, you were called an idiot, or that was a classification, an idiot. If it was between, I think, 30 and 50, you were an imbecile, and believe it or not, if you were 50 to 70, you were a moron. That was until the 1970s, until those terms became condescending. But real seriously, so I'm not being insulting. I'm just talking about their IQs. I'm just talking about the IQ of the model. So sometimes they'll tell you there's no causes. Sometimes they'll tell you there's lots of causes. Sometimes they'll tell you we don't know the causes. All of these are notions that disempower the individual. And you know what? That's the bottom line here. If there's anything that makes this country great, if there's anything that makes us great, is our power as individuals. And that's what the United States really was founded on the individual versus the government. Founded that way. It didn't take very long for it to change, or at least in theory. I don't know what they were thinking. But in theory, the United States of America, and this is why it's no accident that the founding fathers ripped on the medical model. Dr. Benjamin Rush, who was one of the signatories of the Declaration of Independence, he ripped on the medical model. Thomas Jefferson ripped on the medical model. This is 300 years ago. Doctors were looked at with, and the model, not just doctors, but the model was looked at with great trepidation. They said, be careful here, because they knew that medicine would disempower the individual if it was allowed to. If we let it, the medical model was just as bad as the king. It would disempower the individual, but even more fundamentally, at a place in our lives that's really important to us, our health. To disempower us in a buying decision for a computer, that's one thing, and that happens all the time. We get ripped off in the marketplace all the time. We get disempowered in the marketplace all the time. Ever try to figure out how to work your computer or your car or your television set? We got to go somewhere else. And that's, we deal with that. But when it's our bodies, when it's our health, when it's our babies, our children, our moms and our dads, that's evil. That's twisted. We should be glorifying and elevating the individual. A good job of a good healthcare professional is to make himself irrelevant. My job as a pharmacist, as a nutritional pharmacist, is to make myself irrelevant so you don't need me. A true health care professional will empower you so you don't need him. So it's a part-time job. What if doctors only got paid if they actually did something? What if a doctor only got paid if you got better? There won't be a lot of doctors, probably. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to The Bright Side. Pharmacist Ben here. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll get your calls here in just a moment. If you're on hold, hang tight. 866-735-2470 is the phone number for the Bright Side Ben team. Phone team. If you want to join the team, help me in my mission today. Educate the world about how powerful and important a good nutritional supplement program is, and really how powerful and important we are as individuals. If you want to, this is what this mission is about. It's about us as individuals against an institution. Institutions are always in opposition to individuals. Period. Individuals, as human beings, are always the victims of institutions, whether you call it the medical institution or whether you call it the government institution or the legal institution. Whatever the institution is, it's always going to be set against us. Institution means static. It's something that's fixed, that's locked in, that ain't going nowhere. and is not going to do anything to jeopardize its existence, and it will always be in opposition to the individual. So like 180-degree opposite. It's a polar opposite, individual and institution. And what this message that we talk about every day on The Bright Side is, it's about elevating, empowering the individual and disempowering simultaneously the institution. If you watch that debate yesterday, you'll see the institution in action. Do you think that any of those boneheads that are on the stage are any different from anybody else? They're all the same. You think your life's going to be better if it's John Kasich or Donald Trump? Is our life going to be any better at the end of the day? Is our life any different when George Bush is president or Obama's president? We're all still disempowered. My taxes haven't gone down. The Affordable Health Care Act, my insurance premiums have gone up every year since the Affordable Health Care. Oh my God. It would be funny if it wasn't so tragic. Here's something else. Check this out. This one is another good one. This is from the journal Addiction Biology. Drug curbs marijuana use, but with tough side effects. I'm not kidding you. This is craziness. They want to give you a drug now. If you're addicted to marijuana, supposedly, and by the way, Chris Christie, you heard him yesterday. He wants to put people in jail again for smoking pot, for smoking a leaf out of the ground. Now, if you're addicted to marijuana, and you can, it's debatable whether it's even addicting or not. But in any case, if you're addicted to marijuana, now you can take a drug called Topamax, Topramate. Nasty drug, Topamax. It's an anticonvulsant drug. Of course it's going to have side effects, but you won't be hooked on pot. You won't be smoking pot. You won't be high. You may have to have your liver checked every 6 months, but you won't be high. Thank you, doctors. This is the craziness. This is the nonsense, the idiocy of this model that we deify, we glorify, the medical model. All right, let's go to Rick in Oklahoma. What's up? Good morning, Rick. Welcome to The Bright Side.
Well, hi, Ben. Thanks for taking my call.
What's cooking? What's going on?
Well, the Affordable Care isn't very affordable. I get that.
I'm telling you. And every year. Has yours gone up every year?
Yes.
Every year it goes up. And I don't even use mine. I don't know. What the heck? Why's it going up? I haven't touched it. I haven't used it.
I do get a yearly checkup and dental. But my question is about, I saw a little bit of your article about the thrill of krill oil, and I've been taking a salmon oil, and I've been noticing more soreness in my hands. I use my hands for work. I run a...
more soreness after you took the salmon oil?
No. I just started having soreness in the last 6 months.
Okay.
And so I was wondering if the krill oil would be more...
No, it's about the same. Krill's kind of interesting. I shouldn't say that. Krill's interesting because it has a couple of things that no other oils have. Number one, it has carotenes, and a lot of them, because the krill produce this sun protective element that we can use. Carotenes are sun protective, and they're also nutritional. And you're not going to get those in fish oil, in ordinary fish oil. And it also has something in it called phospholipids, and phospholipids help the penetration. For one thing, they help the penetration of the fat, and they have their own health benefits too, phospholipids. So krill oil is superior, but here's the problem with krill oil. And I actually bought a bunch of stock in a krill oil company, which is going down the tubes, by the way. Here's the problem with krill oil. It's expensive, and you don't get a lot of bang for your buck. So I'm not a big believer in just using krill oil, but I am a believer in adding krill oil to your ultimate essential fatty acid, your ultimate EFA. If you add the krill oil to it and don't count on the krill oil to provide you with everything you need, you'll get all the benefits. You get well-rounded benefits, I should say. And here's another thing. When we talk about omega-3 fatty acids and essential fatty acids, and we were talking about it earlier, we'll probably talk about it here in the next few weeks, it's kind of confusing, the omega-3s, because there's really two types of omega-3, two types of essential omega-3. One is called ALA, and the others are called DHA and EPA. And the DHA and EPA, they're only found in fish. We can make them, I shouldn't say only, but predominantly found in fish. We can make it from ALA, but not 100% efficiently. So you need all of it, is what I'm saying. The ALA will come from flax and from seeds, and the DHA and EPA, they'll come from fish. So you want to kind of mix things up a little bit. You want fish, you want krill, you want flax. Just cover, in my opinion, cover all your bases. So krill can be helpful, but I wouldn't count on it for everything. Salmon oil can be helpful. Fish oil can be helpful. I like cod, by the way. And you always want your fish to be from a clean part of the ocean, usually the North Sea. But in any case, you want fish oil, you want krill oil, and you want ALA, which you're going to get from flaxseed oil or chia oil or hemp seed oil. You kind of want a well-rounded supplement. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. So since you brought up the flax, how much flax or
there's a really no friggin' way to know on that. Just take a lot. You're not going to OD on it,
right?
But I take a lot. You know what I do? I dump it in my smoothie and I swallow a bunch of pills, and I don't even worry about it because you're not going to OD on it. You're not going to, and there's no way to know. There's just flat out no way to know.
Okay, I'll work that.
Okay, good. Thanks, Rick. Take care, buddy. Okay. All right, let's go to Pat in Indiana. What's up? Welcome to the Bright Side, Pat.
Hi. I'm calling about my husband. He's been cutting wood for a long time and chopping it. But this time, about over a week ago, the hammer got real high and it came down real hard. But he didn't notice the pain. But about 2 hours later,
was he drinking?
He really couldn't stand up because the pain was so great. But when he lays down, it goes away.
With the hammer? He hit himself with the hammer?
No, he hit the wood, but he hit it so hard it must have did something to.
All right. How old's your husband?
Shoulder blade.
How old's your husband?
He's 80.
Okay, so here's what you're going to need to do. You got to start. He's going to have to become Arnold Schwarzenegger. Remember him? Arnold Schwarzenegger before he was governor. He was a bodybuilder before he was governor. You got to build up. You got to go anabolic. Now I'm kind of exaggerating. He's not going to be Arnold Schwarzenegger, but that's the idea. We got to build your husband back up. He's 80. He's hammering wood. That's all, chopping wood. That's all a great sign. That's all an awesome sign. It means he's already strong. So he's going to notice results quickly. Right away, you want to start to work on his digestive system. If he has any digestive problems, those need to be eliminated. That's the food diary. Eliminate problem foods, and then use the biolumin essence and enzymes after all meals. Start doing whey protein every day, especially after he chops wood or after he hammers or does anything physical. Give him a scoop of whey protein, Slender FX or any One World Whey. Find a good quality whey protein, okay? And it wouldn't hurt to do it with a little bit of meal. He can also do it with meals. Also, egg, fish, protein foods is what I'm saying. All right? And there's a couple more things. Don't go away. I want to finish up when we come back. All right, Pat? All right. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Hang tight if you're on hold. We'll try to squeeze everybody in if we can. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll take a break and come back with you and more good health information on the Bright Side. Okay, we are back on the Bright Side talking to Pat. Pat, you there, ma'am?
I am.
Okay, so here's the deal. We got to get your husband strong and like he was when he was a kid. We're going to reverse the aging process.
Can I tell you that? Well, he's been doing this for a month now.
Okay,
so
go ahead.
It doesn't hurt him to do that. It's not his arm and his shoulder.
I'm just giving you general anti-aging strategies here.
But he wants to know what you think it might be under his shoulder blade.
He's falling apart. You're overthinking, sweetheart. He's falling apart. That's what I'm telling you. It's as simple as he's falling apart. I don't know how much simpler I could be. Think of a 1972 Pinto. Yeah. Okay, now I don't mean to be harsh because obviously he's vital for an 80-year-old guy. He's vital. And so we're going to turn it around, but I'm just telling you what's happening.
Yeah.
I'm just being real here, okay? He's a 1972 Pinto. So you don't want to need to know like what the details of the falling apart are. He's falling apart. So we're going to reverse that. Number 1, start with food. Number 2, protein. Protein is your building nutrient, and along with it, fats. Fats and protein go together. And ironically, those are the 2 hardest nutrients for us to get, which is why one of the reasons we fall apart. And they're 2 of the hardest nutrients to absorb, too. So using them with his enzymes. More protein, more fat, less inflammatory food. And anybody listening, this is a general anti-aging, reverse the degenerative disease process strategy. Of course, there's many more things, and that's why you got to listen to this program, but this is a start. You want to correct any digestive issues. You want to build the body up with protein and with essential fats. make sure he's doing his micronutrients, which would be his Healthy Start Pack. Now, it might help him to do some of the ultimate enzymes on an empty stomach because those have anti-inflammatory properties. Vitamin E, which we've talked about a lot here the last couple of weeks, very anti-inflammatory. He might want 400 international units a day of vitamin E. Alpha lipoic acid, which I absolutely love. Again, alpha anti-inflammatory, 400 milligram a day. And then there's so many more things. But that's a good start for you, Pat. And like I say, this is a general anti-aging, degeneration reversal strategy. And basically, your husband is basically falling apart. I mean, and please, I'm not saying that in a mean way. It's with love. Okay. Yes.
But he thought, well, maybe could it be a gallstone or something like that rather than a muscle?
That I can't tell you. It sounds like a muscle to me. A gallstone it doesn't sound like it would be a gallstone. Does he have any digestive symptoms?
No, he don't have no stomach problems.
Yeah, no. It sounds like a muscle. Sounds like he did something muscularly. And it sounds like just general connective tissue in the muscle tissue is breaking down, which is understandable, you know? Okay, Pat, I got to move. Thank you so much for your call. God bless you. Good luck with everything. All right, Denise in Santa Cruz, what's up?
Denise. Take on my meniscus. It's gradually been getting more painful to walk and certain movements. Sometimes lifting, just whatever.
How old are you, Denise? How old are you?
I'm 59.
Happy birthday, I think. Is your birthday coming up? Or did you just have?
October, I'll be 60. You betcha.
Okay, I missed your birthday. Well, happy belated. Anyway, so did you hurt it? Did you injure it somehow, or it's just kind of degenerating?
Never injured it.
Same as this other guy. Same as the guy we were just talking to.
Exactly.
Same deal.
My ears were perking up with him. So
same deal. And I forgot to mention the glucogel caps. Those can be also very helpful. The glucogel caps Go ahead. Okay. Go ahead, ma'am.
What, three times a day or something?
Yeah,
like that?
three times a day. But always make sure you take your glucogel with your Beyond Tangy. The vitamin C from the Beyond Tangy activates the glucogel caps. So do those together. And almost exactly what I just told the other gentleman. Eliminate inflammation, and that means problem foods, so do all the digestive things. Sugar is inflammatory, so reduce that. Replace it with protein, essential fatty acids, and digestive enzymes, ultimate enzymes. And you know what else, Denise? Do some leg exercises. Get in the gym. Now, the meniscus is tricky. The meniscus is tricky depending on its degree of tear because cartilage, a lot of people tell you that cartilage doesn't regrow, blah, blah, blah. It's not true. But what is true is cartilage doesn't have a lot of blood supply. So you really got to pound the nutrition to regenerate or rebuild cartilage. You can do it still, but you got to pound the nutrition because there's not a lot of blood supply to cartilage tissue. Does that make sense? You follow me?
Oh, yes, it does.
So you got to do lots of it, especially lots of...
I'm not willing to give up my gym. I go 3-4 times a week, and
Good deal.
I'm active to begin with. You know.
Well, focus on the knee. And the knee is a horrible joint, by the way. You know, evolution's perfect, but it's still working on the knee. Did you ever tear your knee up, by the way? That is some amazing pain. That's indescribable pain. If you ever do anything to your knee. Oh my God, I cannot even begin to describe it.
Either.
It's unbelievable. All right, Denise, I got to move. Thanks for your call. We'll talk soon. Okay, bye. Joe in Texas, what's going on? Welcome to the Bright Side.
Sir?
Doing good. What's going on? How can we help you?
I know you're running out of time.
Yeah, running out.
One of them is you talked one time about chicken soup, and you said that the skin and oil and the stuff was really nutrition.
Good. Yes.
I've been saving the fat that accumulates after I drain it.
Okay.
And I use that for cooking.
Is it a good clean bird? Hormone-free antibiotic. Good clean bird. Hormone-free.
I don't know about how clean, but
that's a problem. I wouldn't do it personally because you're concentrating the poison, the hormones, all the stuff goes in the fat. So that's why you got to use a clean bird. When I say do the fat and do the bone soup, I'm talking clean bird because you're concentrating the poison in the water and in the fat. I wouldn't personally. I mean, you could, I suppose, but I wouldn't. You know, just because
I tried it out for a while using a little.
Theoretically, it's a good idea, though, Joe. You're on the right track. Theoretically, it's a good idea, but I don't know if I would do it with a hormone if you're using a chicken that's got hormones and antibiotics and whatever else they give the birds.
Okay.
Okay, buddy.
The last question. I have a taste. I mean, a little bit of asbestos. I don't have the mesothelioma, but asbestos. Anything
Okay.
that I could do to curb that a little bit?
Oh, lots you could do. Chelation therapy. Find a naturopath who can do chelation therapy for you. That's one thing. The second thing you could do is lots of nutrients that are specific for helping clear the body, clear toxins out of the body and support the liver and detoxification. Vitamin C is your best friend. Your best friend. Personally, if you could find IV vitamin C, that's the way to go. But that's a little pricey and maybe difficult. Just take your Beyond Tangy Tangerine all day long. Sip on it. Vitamin E. Ridiculously detoxifying, especially for the lungs. By the way, for smokers out there, you want to make sure you're doing both vitamin C and vitamin E. They're critical for lung health. 400 IU of mixed vitamin E, MIXED, mixed. NAC, NAC, really good for the lungs. Selenium, really important for lung health. Essential fatty acids, really important for lung health. And then don't forget about the basics, because the more crap that's in your blood, the harder it's going to be for your lungs to heal and for you to heal and to regenerate. So you got to keep the crap from coming into the blood through the digestive system, and that means eating less food, eating better, patching up the gut, all the things we talk about every day here. All right, Joe, I got to move. Thank you so much for your call, buddy. Appreciate it. All right, Carl. Is this Carl the Truth Raider, Carl?
Hey, Ben.
What's
Sounds
up,
like you're
man?
at your wit's end concerning the medical model.
I'm just pissed. After seeing the debate yesterday, I got real. Did you watch it? I don't know if you watched those things, but they used to be funny. They used to be entertaining. Now Trump thinks he's serious. Now now he thinks he's a real boy.
Right.
He's not like a toy or like a cartoon anymore. It's not funny.
He's a figure out there for just his megalomania feedings, I believe. Anyway, the question today is restless leg syndrome. What are the key nutrients I need?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Eliminate it?
It's an electrical issue. Remember, there's the electrical nutrients, and there's the quick-acting nutrients, and then there's the long-term nutrients. Your fatty nutrients, your DEEK, vitamin D, E, A, and K, DEEK, essential fatty acids, some of the minerals. Those are fatty, and they're for long-term, for building. Then there's the electrical nutrients, i.e. electrolytes, potassium, calcium, magnesium, sodium, B vitamins, vitamin C. They're electrical. They're for quick things. Restless leg syndrome is it's a manifestation of cramping. And there's a change in the it's caused by change in the electrical energy into the muscle. So you're dealing with electricity. For restless leg syndrome, Beyond Tangy Tangerine, especially before bed. Most people will have it, their condition at night. So before bed, make sure you're sipping on the BTT. And I don't know how much, you're going to have to decide how much for yourself. You're going to have to see how it works. You can also do vegetable juices. Those are great sources of the B vitamins and electrolytes. Lemon juice. Talked to a gal yesterday about lemon. Lemon is a great source of electrolytes. Think electrolytes, B vitamins, vitamin C, especially before bed. I want to get one more call in, Carl, okay? Thanks for your call, man. Okay, Robert in Colorado, you got the last word. What's up, buddy?
It's another day in paradise, Ben. Thank you very much for taking my call.
Good to talk to you.
Yeah. I've got a lady that I'm meeting with on Saturday. She's finally fed up with taking...
Did you send me a text? Was that you sending
I
me?
did.
That was you. Okay, good. I just got it.
Yeah, that was me. Sorry.
Okay, no worries.
But she's like 42. She's 120 pounds. Fibromyalgia is what they're saying.
All right, here, let me give you the quick answer, and then why don't you call me later? We'll talk more.
All right.
Here's the quick answer. Fibromyalgia, think gut. Think probiotics, think essential fatty acids, and female hormones. That means your nightly essence, correct digestive health issues, make sure that you're using everything to keep the gut healthy, that is fiber and vegetables and fermented foods, in addition to the nightly essence. And then essential fatty acids, make sure you're doing your EFAs, and it wouldn't hurt to do a little progesterone cream either. Magnesium and vitamin C also help in terms of hormone health. So think hormones, think fats, think the digestive system for fibromyalgia. Thanks for your call, Robert. Thanks for listening, friends. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Have yourselves a wonderful, beautiful, spectacular day. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.